Yo, welcome back to It's Just Trading Trade Recap. Today is February 24th, and I'm going to just walk everyone through essentially the trade we took today. I think we caught about 124 points, somewhere around there, 120 something points. But we'll just hop right into it, just give a little breakdown of the analysis. So, if you're new to the channel, or you're new to any of my trade recaps, basically I trade price action and market structure with ICT concepts as far as using certain levels for resistance or support, but not like the retail conventional way of support and resistance, but utilizing fair value gaps as a means of identifying if it's support or resistance. So we're just gonna hop in there. Let's see. Now, at this point, I'm looking to see what was the last market structure shift we had on the 4-hour. And the last market structure shift we had on the 4-hour was here going long. So this high made the lowest low on this down leg right here. So at this point, I'm considering my bias to be bullish on the 4-hour. So we just go ahead and just put this up here just to notate what our bias is. Let's see. 4-hour is bullish. Again, because the lowest low high was broken right here. We got a candle closure above this, so that tells me that hey, we're in a bullish situation as far as the 4-hour go. And until the highest high, the low that made the highest high, gets broken back down, I'm still going to utilize our 4-hour as being bullish. So this would be the low that is the highest high, the low that created the highest high right there. So what I do is I'll mark this as a just a level to notate if we ever come near this area that, you know, the potential for us to go back up, or just watch this area to see if around 10 o'clock our time, if we flip the area going down, and that would change my 4-hour narrative. All right, so check the 1-hour, and then we're gonna go ahead and mark this at 9 o'clock, just so I can walk you guys up like I normally do. So right here, so same thing. This is the low that made the highest high on this down leg right here. So we still held the 1-hour, so we are still technically bullish, even though it looks like we're in this range. The more you begin to look at the price action and the market structure, you'll be able to identify what was your last major move, and you can kind of dictate what you're going to do based off of that. All right, so again, we're going to go up 3 candles. All right, so at this point, we're still bullish on the 1-hour because we have not closed below here. Also, I want to notate that we have a new week opening gap up here. So with us being bullish, I would want to, you know, at some point throughout the week, I want to come and fill that gap at some point throughout the week. Maybe it happened in the week, maybe it won't, you know, but this is just, you know, I'm looking at areas that, you know, I could target as far as like a draw on liquidity if my bias is in that direction. So at this point, we're on this down leg right here. We haven't flipped the structure down, so I view this area right here, what we did here, as a liquidity sweep for us to go back up in the direction, because we didn't get a candle closure down here. All right, so then we hop on our 15-minute. And same thing on our 15-minute. We shifted down. Let's see. 15. Here. We didn't shift down. We just got a really deep pullback, essentially, is what I'm seeing, because still here is the low that made the highest high, you know, and right up in this, there is no significant low on the 15-minute that would say my 15-minute flip short. It just was a deep pullback. However, what I will notate is that how we got a breaker structure back to the upside, you know, this pullback, and then we came back up, right? So then we got a shift back up here, and then we got a shift back down here. So we made this low. All right. So we came back into this 1-hour and 4-hour area yesterday, and then we bounced and started to come back up towards the top. So on my analysis, coming back up towards the top, if this is what I wanted to see coming in, if we pull back down here, I would want us to come back, sweep this to go back bullish with everything else. Um, I wanted these levels down here to get swept so I can get an entry from a lower position going back up. That way I could at least target these highs right here or the midpoint of this range, knowing that I have this fair value gap up here, as far as, not fair value gap, I'm sorry, this new week opening gap up here as a target if we do shift and go back that direction. So we got to shift like high, low, lower, high, low, lower, low, higher, high right here. We shifted back long here, and then this low made the highest high basically on this little consolidating looking trend right here. And we never came back below this low. We never closed back below this low to say that, hey, we're going to push back down here, okay? All right, so playing a couple candles forward to 9:30. Okay, now we did get our shift here, right? So on this little uptrend right here, we did get a shift back down to the downside, okay? Before market open, we got this closure down here. And if you know anything, if you know how I trade, or basically what I tell people in the Discord or my Discord is, if we shift the 15-minute down and it's going against the higher time frames narrative, you should only want to target the 1 hour low, because the next significant 1 hour low, because if you expect to flip it, you might get wrecked. So if you look at this, right, we shifted our 15-minute up here before market open. We shifted the 15-minute down before market open, right? You won't see it, but on the 15-minute, we did do that, right? So if I knew that, then this hourly low right here on the 1 hour is where I would have targeted, right? So if we go back to the 15-minute, right, you see how we shifted down here, and then price did what? It came to that hourly low that I marked up right there. And that would have been about 48 points, but that's not the trade we took today. So when price ran down the way that it did at market open, we got market open right here. We got our closure below. So at this point, I was waiting on us to come all the way down here and sweep these lows, right? So I was waiting on a market structure shift after sweeping these lows right here to go back up to the long side. And I also was waiting on like this intermediate high. I needed an intermediate high so that I could get a better entry, because if I were to go back up above this 1 minute high right here, which created the lowest low on this leg right here, if I go back above this puts me super high in the trade, right? Without even realizing or without even knowing if maybe, my 15-minute was going to close back bullish or whatever the case may be, because remember, our 15-minute went bearish. So just playing this out. When we did this right here, now I'm waiting to see what my 15-minute is going to do. Okay, so when we opened up, this high now made the lowest low, because this swing high came down and it made the lowest low right here. So we ended up closing this 15-minute back above. So we utilized, basically all we did here was just grab liquidity here without coming this far down, which is where I wanted to come down to. And I didn't get a clean entry like I wanted to down here. So what did I do? I ended up waiting the first 15 minutes. And by waiting, it allowed me to see, what was going to happen next. So we came down, swept. So we shifted down and then immediately shifted back up, regained the structure going back up, and utilized all this down here as a liquidity sweep. So we shifted going back up here. So now we got our market structure shift back long right here before 9:45. So the next thing I wanted to do, go ahead and play this forward. The next thing I wanted to do now was, since I know we got the 15-minute structure going back long, what I said was I wanted to wait till a 5-minute fair value gap formed, and then I was going to take a trade coming back down into here, and then market structure shifting back out on the 1 hour, on the 1 minute, and then targeting the new week opening gap. And also I would like to see if we have at least 100 points or more of room to go And that way I know I could take, some money about 50% of the way, knowing that, hey, I think we're trying to target the new week opening gap, especially with my 15-minute being bullish, my 1 hour being bullish, and my 4 hour also being bullish. Now I'm waiting. Oh, my bad. Now I'm waiting on a 5-minute fair value gap to form. Okay. So, and I wanted it to form without taking out the new week opening gap or the previous day high. So we also had the previous day high up here as well as a target. So we can go ahead and take these off. This was just liquidity sweeps. Okay. So then next 5-minute candle, I play that. Now we got a 5-minute gap. Okay. So now we got our 5-minute fair value gap. I'm going to use this as a level of support to push us up. Since my 15-minute is long, my 5-minute is also long, my 1 hour is long, my 4 hours long, everything is long. So I'm looking for a retracement back into this fair value gap, giving me a 1-minute market structure shift, and then I'll enter going long with my higher time frame narrative. So when we drop down to the 1 minute, just play it forward. All right, so now we are inside that 5-minute fair value gap, which is what we wanted to see. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take this out. Now I'm following my highs down. Okay, following my highs down. Now I know that this high created the lowest low on this pullback right here. This is a pullback on the higher time frame, 5-minute, whatever you want to call it. But this is a pullback, but this is a 1 minute high, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low. Now this is a trend. 2 or more swing points is considered a trend. So we wait until we get our closure above this high. This is a wick. All right. We got our closure above the high right here. Take this back. We got our closure above the high right here. So when we retraced back, basically in real time, and I was using 2 contracts, in real time, when price pulled back, right, and I was utilizing my 15-second and my 30-second to try to get, a pristine entry, but you don't have to do that. You could just wait for the pullback here or whatever the case. But for me, I utilized those together to give me a cleaner entry. So I waited for the pullback into this area, right? And then I entered 2 contracts here. The reason I entered 2 contracts is because we just had this crazy move down and then this crazy move up. It's a bit more risky in my opinion. So I'm just playing risk management at this point. And I know I have distance to go to make money. I have the distance. I have 100 and something points to go. And if you say 124 or 160 or whatever the distance is from where I entered up to here, that was enough for me to make money and also, use proper risk management. So at this point, boom, we're in that trade. And during my live stream, I was saying that, hey, when we get to this point right here, I'm going break even on the trade. My stop loss was going to be down here below this low or the third candle's low. So 1, 2, 3, not the lowest swing point. So I just put it below this swing here because if we flip this back down, then we could go lower, and maybe hit this first presented 1 minute fair value gap or something like that. I wouldn't want to see that. So I just put my stop below this low right here, and then I would be trying to target the other side of here. With 2 contracts and knowing that my higher time frame narrative and me having draws on liquidity above and me having a good break even point, this is good risk management. You're risking $200 to make potentially $700. And let's see what this RR is on this. If you're one of those people that like RRs, so that's a 3.45 to 1 risk to reward. So that's a good RR. So play this for us. We got a little bit of pullback, but as I was looking, as long as we was holding this low right here, as long as we was holding this and coming back out of the 5-minute fair value gap, continuing this trend that we have right here, I was good money. We was good. So we play this forward a little bit. At this point, I was like, oh, we got a closure above this. I'm definitely moving this to break even, right? And at this point, we got previous day high up here, so we're looking to see what's going to happen. And then we started like lollygagging around. I was like, okay, well, I don't think we're going to reverse and come back too far down. But I also was watching maybe the new 5-minute or new 15-minute fair value gap after closing above this to see if we could potentially pull back into a 15-minute fair value gap and then finish the rest of the move. or make a 5-minute fair value gap and finish the rest of the move. So at this point, all I did was just started managing the risk. I think I ended up putting it at 150, and I was just like, yo, if we come back here, I knew I at least secured a winning day. But then as I played this forward some more, it was kind of just like, oh, we was just lollygagging around. Then I think I ended up taking like one contract off, and then I ended up taking the other contract off before we had this drop down right here. I ended up taking the other contract off and securing the money. But if we play it all the way forward, we end up going up here and hitting the new week opening gap. We hit the previous day high and reversed a little bit, but the new week, there was no way we was going to take the previous day high and reverse and come all the way back down here with the rest of the day, going. It was just like, okay, 90% of the time we come and fill this gap before the end of the week. So that was the trade recap of the day. Basically a 5-minute continuation trade after a 15-minute push down and then completely reversed and came all the way back up. It was just a continuation of the higher time frame trend, and a lot of times you'll see more success if you go with the higher time frame trend and not playing the pullback, because you got some people, right, because it works. But if you're in a strong like bullish narrative, let's say this happened like super early in the day and not around 11 or 12, we got a reversal off of the previous day high, you see. So we got a liquidity sweep, market structure shift right here. We got a retracement back into the imbalance. You enter here, you stop above here, and you could target these lows right here. That's still a trade, but I would rather be with the narrative of my higher time frame, because that is more likely to play out. So if you found this trade recap helpful, feel free to subscribe and like to the channel, and just comment below more things that you would like to see on the channel. And if you haven't already, follow me on Discord, and follow me on Instagram at It's Just Trading. I think it's it's.just.trading. And if you have any questions, you can hit me up there. Appreciate your time.